Hello and welcome back. My name is Jamie Vasilyan, the Hypnosis for ADHD specialist. And in this video, we're talking about New Year's resolutions versus goal setting, and why New Year's resolutions do not work and why goal setting does. And if you're not doing goal setting already, if you're not teaching this to your child with ADHD, why it could be the number one thing that you need to do to not only manage your ADHD, but learn also to thrive with it. You see, there's research which shows that children with ADHD that have learned to visualize their goals, when they grow up, they turn out to be much more happy and successful and well-adjusted. So obviously goal setting is a really important thing for us to learn as ADHD adults, if we haven't already learned it, and also it's something really important for our children to learn. So yeah, you braved Christmas with all its extra stress and because of the organization and so on. You probably enjoyed yourselves at times, but got stressed out as well. Probably got through with a few cuts and bruises, but hey, you're here, you're still standing. And then New Year's resolutions come around. Now, for a lot of people with ADHD, we probably just think, oh, forget about that. It's just, you know, there's this fear of failure. And why would I want to set myself up for more failure? Well, that's a good question. But I'm here to say that you didn't fail New Year's resolutions so much as New Year's resolutions failed you. Because in the general population, only 8% of people manage to stick to their New Year's resolutions. So if you have ADHD, it's going to be even more difficult. So I'm here to share with you the good news, is that goal setting, finally, in an ADHD friendly format, can help you to manage and thrive with your condition and move forward with your goals. But of course, I'm really aware of the fear of failure with ADHD because, you know, I've been there too. But that's why we're making this series of videos. So today we're going to tackle New Year's resolutions versus goal setting. Then we'll be looking at, in the next video, the fear of failure and how you can deal with that. And then we'll move on to look at how to actually start setting goals that really work and that are ADHD friendly. And finally, how to bring in hypnosis so that we have super ADHD friendly and super powerful goal setting for you or your child to use and so that you can achieve more success in your life. So first of all, let's look at why New Year's resolutions don't work. So number one, New Year's resolutions don't work because we'll start off with good intentions. And I'm not doubting that for one moment. You know, we want to hit the gym, get healthy, stop smoking, or whatever it might be. Managing and mastering ADHD would be a good goal, right? So you start off with good intentions. And that certainly is the first key, but it's only the first step. So intention, unfortunately, is not enough. And that's as far as most people get, because only 2% of the population actually know how to set and achieve goals. So the second reason why New Year's resolutions don't work is because of lack of knowledge or know-how. So most people are trying to, you know, reach their New Year's resolutions through luck. But luck, actually, we can turn it on its head, and it stands for living under correct knowledge. So most people don't know how to set achievable goals that they can work towards, that they can make their New Year's resolutions stick. Now, the third reason why New Year's resolutions tend not to work is what I call the failure pattern. You see, I had a friend when I was young that he would give up smoking about once per month. He'd give up for about a week or two and he'd come out in a burst of like spots and he'd complain about that. And then he'd go back to smoking again. And then the month afterwards, he would stop smoking. I said to him one day, why don't you just carry on smoking? Because look what's happening to your skin and you're complaining about that. But also, every time that you start and stop, what happens is your subconscious mind, the same part of us which makes our heart beat, which makes us learn to ride a bicycle or drive a car. We don't think about driving a car anymore. It's an automatic process. If we had to think about all of it, it'd be like having our first driving lesson. We would be overwhelmed and we'd probably crash the car. So it's good that our subconscious mind runs a lot of things on automatic. But then it also causes problems when, for example, you want to give up smoking, but you do it a number of times, you start, you stop smoking and then you start again, you stop smoking and start again. And in fact, there is research to show that the more times that a person stops and starts a habit like smoking or drinking or whatever, the more likely they are, the more difficult it gets to be able to stop. So the same thing happens with New Year's resolutions. If every year you think, it's New Year's resolutions time, I have this intention to hit the gym, and you go and maybe you go for a few weeks or a month and then you stop, well, the next time that January comes along and you join the gym, the same thing is more likely to happen again and again and again. If you keep doing it, it becomes a habit. So now that we know why New Year's resolutions don't work and why they've been failing you the whole time, let's look at what does work. Goal setting. The reason why goals work so well is because they are specific. You look at everything. You look at exactly what the goal will look like, how you will feel when you achieve that goal, what you will do to get there, when you will take these actions to get there, and you give it a date. So it's all very, very specific. And the great thing about this is a properly set goal, it activates the prefrontal cortex, the front of the brain, which is the same part of the brain that's responsible for executive functions. It's like the boss or the CEO of a business. And this boss brain of ours is also the part of the brain, therefore, that is responsible for organizing all the other parts of the brain. In other words, it's responsible for organization and things like timekeeping. The very same things that people with ADHD tend to have difficulty and challenge with. So the great thing is, if you set specific goals, you can actually force your boss brain into action. You are effectively exercising that part of your brain, and therefore you've got a sense of purpose and a sense of direction with your life. Now, the second reason why goal setting is so good is because it also activates chemically the same neurotransmitter responsible for motivation, which is called dopamine. And it's the same neurotransmitter which is said to be lacking in people with ADHD. Well, the trick is we can activate it through having clearly defined goals. The third reason why goal setting is so important and so good for us and trumps New Year's resolutions is because it's not something you do once a year. Now, I'm not saying you set new goals every day. What you do is you think about your goals, you set them, and then you take the steps towards it, the smaller steps towards that goal. And what this does is you're exercising your boss brain every day. And that means the very same part of your brain which needs exercising is getting exercised, and that part of your brain actually gets stronger and stronger. It's a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. The very same thing that I learned back in 2011 when I trained as a solution-focused hypnotherapist. And this was one of the biggest breakthroughs for me with my ADHD, because I learned that the brain does have the ability to regrow and change. And it's like a muscle, that you can learn new things, that you can, with enough effort and correct knowledge or luck, you can learn how to actually exercise your brain in the way that it needs to be exercised. So goal setting becomes a virtuous habit, and it sets you off on a trajectory that every time that you start to have these little steps that you're moving towards your bigger goal or goals, what's happening is you have this sense of purpose and motivation and direction, and your dopamine is increasing, and it gets easier and easier and easier, and it becomes a positive upward spiral. And this is the reason why New Year's resolutions don't work, and why you may feel like a failure because that was going to fail you anyway. But if you know how to properly set goals and execute them, then finally you can learn possibly the number one step, and I believe it is the number one step in helping you to manage and even master your ADHD. And if you're not doing it already, or teaching your child how to do this, honestly, it's something you really, really need to do. And like I say, we're going to explore that in the next few videos. We're going to take you step by step through how to do that. And before I forget, if you haven't already signed up to my newsletter, then please click the link below and sign up, because you'll get access to the latest videos and blogs and free resources, hypnotherapy recordings, so on and so forth, that are designed to help you or your child manage and master ADHD. If you have any questions, then please send me an email or leave comments down below and let me know what kinds of things you need help with. What do you need to manage in your life? What do you need to master? And I'll do everything that I can to help you, your child, your family achieve that. Anyway, you've been listening to me, Jamie Vasilyan, the Hypnosis for ADHD specialist. Bye for now.